Hi, it's Joy, and today I'm going to be watching The Clone Wars Season 6, Episode 2, Conspiracy, and there is certainly a conspiracy at play here, and it's gonna win. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction, all of my reactions, on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance. Let's go.
You must come with me.
With all due respect, General.
Needs to stay with his brother.
She was one of the primary engineers of all the clones. Now we must take
The question is whether she's involved.
There's nothing wrong.
The information we can gather from you could help to find a cure for TOP.
All right, General.
They're not abandoning anybody.
Captain,
It's fine, sir. Fighting a virus is a nice change of pace from all those clankers. Take care of yourself.
I feel like it's gonna be a lot more stressful.
let's begin the tests.
Administer the stimulant.
Oof, what are the tests? Because do they view these clones as lab rats?
Remove his mask.
Oh god.
What are they doing?
Oh.
Remain calm.
And letting him see? Like, not even just giving, you know, putting him through the stress of watching this happen.
Reactions are normal.
You should have done that to begin with.
Come on!
Remain calm. Please.
How can he? His brother is suffering. And they're standing around doing nothing.
His reaction will subside.
Not fond of these hyper tests.
Nope.
But they do give us all the information we need in a timely fashion.
Maybe the patient's well-being should be the most important
Seem
thing.
to be any sign of...
It appears this clone has orders to kill a Jedi. Perhaps the Separatists found a way to brainwash him.
If only it was just the
That could be all right.
Separatists.
Have they found it? Well, that means they can let me out.
I am afraid that is not possible. You must remain quarantined until we have pinpointed the exact cause
He
of
wants
the
to
other
be with
clone's
his
breakdown.
brother.
We cannot risk any further casualties. I am sorry. I always wanted to have human feelings. But I do not. Goodbye.
I love droids.
I need an answer now. This isn't just a physical manifestation of psychosis. You must have missed something.
Are they willfully missing it?
Might I suggest a sex
to terminate him and do a full-scale autopsy on the molecular level.
Fuck
We
no.
must be caught.
I will decide what is best for my patient.
She's in on it, right?
Since the Republic.
He's a living human. You don't just get to kill him to try and see what's wrong.
Going on.
CT-53. But you are a number. CT-5555.
No, I am fives. Call me fives.
But 5 is a number.
I was waiting for that.
Fives.
Has been a preemptive execution of Clone Protocol 66.
Yeah, of course they had to be in on it.
Brainwashing. How could that be possible?
So many ways, I'm sure.
On Ringo Vinda and possibly kill him. Their approach would be to terminate him, thus leaving the
Murder him.
fully intact for the
There is a difference.
And unravel this mystery. We will.
No, you won't.
Yes, Master.
He'll already be dead, I'm sure, before she even makes it.
Then we have to get the results of that brain scan
Oh.
ourselves. So, by not performing this scan, you're letting the patient die willingly.
Impossible. That is against my programming.
Yep, work around logic this way.
That's not the way it looks to me. I thought saving the patient at all costs was fundamentally your highest.
This is
You
clever.
are correct.
Just droids. He's here for you. I don't see this going well.
Has developed a tumor.
Is that even possible?
I have never witnessed anything like
Is it a
this.
tumor or a chip? It looks very circular.
I cannot be sure without.
Where are they hiding?
Hello, Doctor.
What do you think you're doing? You performed a second scan without my authorization?
Yes.
As I stated,
Oh, little
I was following
droid.
my programming.
Then you are like this clone. Defective.
Oh god.
You will be put on report for deactivation. But I will find the cause once he's terminated. Now leave.
Oh god. She could kill him right now. Oh, save this droid. I love him.
We were not created to be disposed of this way.
Perhaps you were.
The worst thing is they were, and it's beyond wrong.
Will be terminated so that others like him could survive.
There aren't others like him. Top doesn't have to die.
We will be disobeying direct orders.
Yep, for the second time today. Can you hack into the...
You're already going to be decommissioned.
I do possess that ability, yes?
I don't have a good feeling about this. I'm stressed. Because obviously we don't uncover
It
everything.
will be a painless death.
All non-essential personnel report to a safe room for lockdown.
They'd still do it, right? Or they'd take him with them. They wouldn't just leave him there, they'd take him.
Good work, Casey. You better get
Oh.
started before they figure out it's a false alarm.
Right away.
Bless. Oh wow, we are being super spy sneaky. Oh, oh lord.
It is now.
We've saved my friend's life.
No,
This
you
tumor
haven't.
is the cause of his illness.
Give me that.
You can't be trusted.
Kill her. I mean, don't,
Stand
but...
down, trooper.
General.
You know the one. The mission. The one in our dreams. That never ends.
Oh my god.
One in our dreams. Oh, brother. This is the end. I'm free.
Oh,
No,
oh, Fives.
I thought I saved him.
You did everything you could for him.
I think the Chancellor is correct. The Grand Medical Facility is state-of-the-art.
I hate this.
To this puzzle.
He just played everybody like a fiddle and I hate him. And I hate that he gets to live for like 20 more years gloating over everybody. Fives has just suffered so much. And he did everything he could in this episode to save his brother. And it wasn't enough. But I don't know, that the fact at the end, him saying, you know, the mission that haunts our dreams, I'm free, forget the mission. Was that, do they dream about Order 66? Is it something, are they kind of deep in their subconscious? Do they know that one day they're going to slaughter the Jedi? Is that the thing? Or just the mission being, following orders and being part of the war and dying frees you, and having the chip out, or the tumour or whatever, whether it was the tumour forming around the chip or whether the tumour is the chip. Could be like a biological chip, I suppose. Fives really thought he'd saved him. He had the evidence. The Jedi was right there, he could give it to her and it would all be okay, and then his brother died anyway. I'm scared for Fives because he has very publicly gone against Palpatine's wishes. I mean, not that he knows that, but you know, Palpatine will find out that the reason that the tumour is common knowledge is Fives, and I'm scared for the, I say I'm scared for the little droid. I don't think I'm ever going to see him again, but he is definitely going to be decommissioned, which is not a good thing. It's just so horrifying, isn't it? I think this show has done a really good job of showing just how terrible the clones are. I know I've said it before, but when I watched the movie where we find out about the clones, I'm so sorry, it's the second one, right? But when I watched that movie for the very first time, and I remember this, I don't remember overly much from the first time I watched them, but I do remember being so surprised when the outcome wasn't, this is barbaric, we must shut this down, but was instead, oh yes, great idea, let's use the clones. I still remember to this day being absolutely baffled by the fact that the Jedi, who were supposedly these good, upstanding, moral people, would be like, yes, clones seem like a good idea. It goes against everything that is good. I can understand it from a sort of cynical standpoint, or from a standpoint of, well, that way no innocent people that were born to parents and had a whole life, you know, none of us civilians need to die. But that doesn't give you the right to give birth to people and just use them as cannon fodder. Neither way is ethical, but this way is beyond unethical. And then knowing that Palpatine goes even further and implanting this chip in their brains that will take away their autonomy completely. And like, from what I remember with Order 66, it could almost be like I mean, I don't think any of the ones you see they are mid-conversation, but it would almost be like just a normal day and then suddenly, bam, they murder the Jedi, which is kind of what happened with Tup. It's so sinister, it's so chilling, and they do just such a good job of it. I think, in general, something that's really funny is I know there are right-wing people who love Star Wars, and do they not see the irony that they are Empire voters in the real world? Can you imagine if Trump could put a chip in our heads to control us? We'd all be chipped. But no, this was just yet another tragic episode, in the sense that it's tragic just if you look at it on its own. It's tragic because Fives did everything he could to save his brother. He's risked his own position, his own safety to save his brother, and it wasn't enough. It's tragic because you know that we're at our fingertips are almost stopping Order 66. If the Jedi could just get that tumor, if they could be just pushed that way, maybe we could find another way. Maybe there could be a way for the Jedi to be aware that it's happening, to be prepared. If we could secretly sneak into the lab and do our own test before they do, our fingertips are brushing on the possibility of stopping it. But we know this is a prequel series. We know what's coming. So it's tragic in a whole other sense, as every episode has been, I remember when I first started the Clone Wars, and actually, to be honest, when I began watching the movies, it was really jarring to watch, because you're watching Anakin, and obviously it helps explain how he ultimately makes the right choice, but you're watching him be such a good guy. And yeah, he goes against the Jedi orders a few times, but ultimately he's a good person. And you're like, in a couple of years you're going to murder younglings. Like, it's really jarring to sort of, and very sort of upsetting to think that this good person is going to lose themselves so much. And then over the course of the show, you kind of just get lost in the story. And as we're reaching the end, my brain is back to that jarring point where I'm like, I still don't think he'd murder the younglings. I don't think he'd go that far. I don't think he'd want to murder Obi-Wan and like everybody. And, obviously a lot happens, and a lot of extreme messed up trauma and terrible decisions. But it's similarly with Order 66, you can kind of spend most of the show forgetting that these clones are going to turn around and murder the Jedi they're working with and being so close to and loyal to. But as we're getting closer to the end, it's harder and harder. And I don't know, I hate the idea that Fives has that in his head. I don't entirely know how Order 66 works. Like, because I assume, given that we've met 2 clones who were just free. One of them was a deserter who had a family, and we left him behind. Okay, one of them is dead, I believe, Gregor, but he did promise to come home. Hypothetically, there will be other clones scattered, amnesiacs, injured people that just ran away and got away. When Order 66 gets activated, are they going to suddenly be like, I must find a Jedi to kill them? Or will they, the next time they come across a Jedi, if they were to find one in hiding, they just murder them? Or is it only kind of if the order gets relayed to you? I don't know. So he's seeing this medical facility, and the concept of these clones and the way they're created and the clinical way they're discussed, and the way Five said, oh, he's not just someone, we're not just disposable, and then the medical droid being like, maybe you are, and they are. I know Anakin and most of the Jedi, I mean the one Jedi that was evil, they do treat them like they matter because they believe they do. But if you look at these battles, every single fight scene, multiple clones just go down. Every single time. And every single time I'm like, that is a person with a whole history, a story, people they're close to, a whole potential future. And they use them as fodder. When a Jedi is killed, it is a big deal. The music swells. Like, every character looks in horror and shock. When a clone dies, most of the time, we just move on. And if we have to retreat, we just leave their bodies. In the last episode, when he killed the Jedi, her sister took her body away. The clones didn't take their brothers' bodies away because they are just soldiers and cannon fodder, and it's so wrong. And I know we've discussed this a lot. I know I'm not being controversial when I say this, and I think that is something that Star Wars does well, in the sense that in the real world it is easy to make unethical decisions that go against what you stand for, that go against who you are. When you feel like it's for the greater good, you can do things that are wrong and not realise it until it's too late, or justify it to yourself by saying, yes, but it is also doing this good thing. And that is something that we as people do have to battle with throughout our lives, whether it's in small things, like most of us will only ever have that in like small repercussions, and then other people have it in big things. My heart is breaking for Fives right now. I don't know, because obviously he knows about the tumour, and if nothing comes of it, he's going to try and push for that. I just took that out of my ear and now I'm reaching for it. He knows that the medical staff were extremely sinisterly, like, not wanting to look into that properly and trying to stop it and trying to just kill him. I don't think Fives is going to take this lying down, and I also feel like seeing the way they were treated, seeing his brother screaming and writhing on the table while they did tests when they could have done some other kind of way, and, you know, being just kind of left there in the dark, not even able to hold his brother's hand, you know, the absolute clinical, like they didn't exist, like they were objects. Wait, I know he didn't hear her talking about how they belong to her government, but I think their disposable nature to the Jedi and to the Empire, to the Republic, even the Empire's not a thing yet, to the Republic and to this war, I think has hit home to him in a way it never has before, because they are raised and brainwashed to believe in the war, to believe they're doing the right thing, and on the surface they are on the right side of this war, in the sense that there are Sith on the other side of it. Not in the sense that there are some people that don't want to be part of a Republic anymore, but in the sense of the Sith. They're trying, and most of the time, they're trying to save civilians or rescue planets that have been taken over. They are the good guys. And so you can see how they would believe in the honour of what they're doing and they're fighting for the right thing, but it's when they're just treated like trash, like they're disposable, like, oh, I'll just replace that clone, oh, you know, like if you break your phone, it's frustrating and then you just get a new one. They're treated like that, and they're treated so cruelly and casually cruelly that I think it has woken something up in him. We saw a couple of moments where I really feel like, you know, he almost killed the Doctor for his brother. I'm worried about where he's going to go next, basically. But yes, this was another fantastic episode. Season 6 has been so good so far. I mean, I know I've only seen 2 episodes, but I just feel like, yet again, the stakes have gone up a notch. The epicness, which is totally a word, has gone up another notch. A reminder that, as always, you can find the unedited version of this reaction and all of my reactions on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance. Thank you so much.